Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. This is William Hindman. I'm your host, and this is Just Force 911, where we look at how our public officials do their job, or they just really screw it up. Hey, guys, today we're getting one. It's an update from the civil rights lawyer. Um, the young man that was arrested for getting off work and being out in front of a CVS with this gung ho punk blue line flag gang member shows up and basically arrests him, kidnaps him, and puts him in jail for 2.5 days. Well, the media has come out with YouTube and just screamed bloody murder. And thanks to everybody that called in and all the backflash from this, the young man is out. The charges have been dropped. Unfortunately, he lost his job because of this clown officer who has been fired and is up on charges. Hopefully, he just won't go down the street and get another job. He'll actually lose his credibility, so he won't be a menace to the population anymore. Maybe sterilization would be good too, because what a scumbag, an absolute scumbag. Um, anyway, guys, John Bryant, go over and check his channel out. Tell him I sent you guys over there. He does an awesome job. There's a buttload of information that he gives you. The young man is starting a GoFundMe to help him through, getting an attorney, taking care of this problem, and the whole bit. Just because the charges were dropped doesn't mean this thing's over by a long shot. And it shouldn't be just him. It should be every officer that was on that call, because they didn't stop him from doing something stupid. And if he didn't know, well, that's on him. He's an officer. He should know better. His supervisor was there. He could have stopped him. He didn't. Neither did any of the rest of the officers there. So they're all, complicit as far as I'm concerned. Now, when the lawsuit hits and there's a win, which there will be, I'll guarantee that one, it needs to come out of these officers' pension fund. And whatever the pension fund doesn't carry, then we'll take care of it from there. But it definitely should come out of their pension funds, because they're going to wake up quick when that starts happening. And all we got to do is get one, and the rest will fall like dominoes. So, guys, do me a favor, subscribe to my channel. We're at 3,700. We're trying to get to 5,000 if we can by July 27th, which is my yearly the start date from last year. So it'll be 1 year. If you guys can help me out, please hit the subscribe button, like and share, the thumbs up, and leave me a comment. And let's get on with the video.
Well, YouTube comes through once again. A couple of days ago, I posted this video showing this 22-year-old Paul being falsely arrested in front of the CVS store that he worked at.
Dude, you're gonna get tased.
Okay, I work here.
Turn around.
I work
Stand up and turn around.
Okay, I work here, sir.
Put your hands behind your back. Don't move.
More than just that community, it seems like the entire nation was outraged at what they saw. My video got an unprecedented 2.4 million views in the first 24 hours. Also, within that first 24 hours, because there was such widespread public outrage, prosecutors in Volusia County, Florida, dismissed the criminal charges against Paul. The town of Edgewater also quickly responded, putting Officer Rippion on leave pending investigation, and now it's been reported that he's already been fired. Of course, they just used the word separation. I have updates from that. I have updates from Paul's family, but this one was a surprise, or perhaps not a surprise. Daniel Rippion with the founder of Street Cop Training. And in that social media post, Officer Rippion bragged, glad to be at an agency that values good training, Street Cop. You may
Now, remember this was done, the Street Cop up in New England, and they showed all kinds of slurs and immigration to females and to blacks, and how to prolong a stop without getting caught, and what you can do to not get caught on camera, and all this other crap, and how to get by the Fourth and 14th Amendment. And there's just no room for this anymore. This clown Dennis Bongo, moron, I don't know, has no business whatsoever of teaching anybody anything that has to do with law enforcement. This guy's a clown, flat, simple clown. Ex law enforcement, was actually brought up on charges for other stuff that he had done while he was an officer. So this guy's just a dirtbag. And to be running a street cop training system, there's no room for that in this day and age. It's just absolutely a travesty. So let's check back on the video some more.
You may recall this guy.
Right? About to get pepper sprayed, tased, windows broken out, mother.
I featured him in a video a while back because their training was outlawed by the state of New Jersey, with thousands of police officers having to be retrained according to the Attorney General there.
I've made it very clear to all 38,000 sworn officers and their leadership that no one should be attending street cop training.
I've been using Ridge wallets since like 2022. I have a ton of them, like every color. I have years worth of experience at occurring with the Exeter. They're actually having a Father's Day sale. You can get up to 40% off right now. Paul says he wasn't hiding. He was just putting on a hoodie. The police officer then approaches Paul. Paul, who undisputedly had committed no crime, was immediately detained and threatened with violence.
ID card. Something with your name on it.
That's my ride. I'm gonna go ahead and go.
No, you're not.
I didn't break any laws, sir. So
Stop, dude. You can make an emergency, please. I got one resisting.
I work here, sir. I just got off work.
Dude, you're gonna get tased.
Okay, I work here.
Turn around.
I work.
Stand up and turn around.
Okay, I work here, sir.
Put your hands behind your back. Don't move.
And even though the officer discovered that he was wrong, he arrested Paul, charged him with a crime, and took him to jail anyways, where he stayed for 3 days, just to teach him a lesson about what Officer Rippion believed to be his authority as a police officer, even where no crime had previously been committed.
This is my ride. Just 1 second. Hey, you're good to go. He doesn't need a ride anymore. I'm gonna give him one. You are going to jail tonight. Do you really work here?
I swear to God, I work here.
I do believe that he works here. He's gonna learn, fortunately, the hard way. So. Yeah, I do believe him. He wouldn't fucking lie to himself.
So this is where all the cops are implicit in this. They could have stopped him at any time. They chose not to. So when the lawsuit hits, they all get to pay. And it should come out of their pension funds.
Yeah.
Now, what should have happened is the officer has a hunch, he's suspicious. It's a free country, right? He can go and have a consensual encounter with anyone he wants. He can go up and ask questions. He can ask for ID. He can investigate. And that's what should have happened. This was one of those incidents that really affected people. And it was the people, not just in that community, but nationwide, that achieved some level of accountability here. The charges dropped. They had been pending since, May 10th. Even the prosecutors weren't interested in dropping those charges until people were upset about it. Then the officer's placed on leave, and boom, then he's fired, separated, whatever. What's important about this particular case is that the entire basis of our freedom, of our constitutional rights, it all rests on a foundation of very minor little sort of nitpicky things. The entire foundation of our freedom, of our constitutional rights, rests on what happens in those sorts of scenarios. If we have a government of the people, for the people, by the people, why would we, the people, allow law enforcement officers who are there to serve us, who are there to protect our freedoms, why would we allow them to treat us as criminals unnecessarily? Why would we allow them to treat us with disrespect, with disdain, to seize us first and ask questions later? That's not how it's supposed to be. But if police officers are taught to walk around, to patrol, to interact with the community with an attitude of disrespect, of disdain for the community, with the number one goal of enforcing what they perceive to be their authority, as opposed to serving the public, protecting the Constitution. Then we have things like this happen that completely did not need to happen. Nobody called 911. It was just basically a Karen RoboCop going around creating havoc. I mean, how does that happen in the first place? A little over a year ago, I did a video about street cop training, and that was because the Attorney General of New Jersey had basically outlawed it for all the police officers in New Jersey.
In October 2021, about 1,000 police officers attended a private police training conference in Atlantic City. What we found was really disturbing.
Because they discovered this video footage of what happened inside these training seminars for police officers.
The guy who's recording you like, oh, I am not a citizen of the United States under Act 12-6. Shut the up, right? About to get pepper sprayed, tased, windows broken out, mother. I don't want to hear those exit. I don't want to fucking die at like 91 with hookers and cocaine around me, you know? So we watched your body cam videos. We don't think you got a voluntary consent. Here's 7 pieces of case law, fuckhead. Stop trying to back the 19-year-old dispatcher.
I would be remiss if I didn't remind you or let you know that I have a 3-inch dick.
I'm not the one with a 1-inch dick.
I watched this car come off the highway, and I fucked the shit out of the female driver. She doesn't want to fuck me back, though.
But by that point, street cop training had trained thousands and thousands and thousands of police officers, not just in New Jersey, but all across the country. And the gist of it seems to be you have to be a proactive, tough guy, New Jersey type police officer who goes out and sniffs out crime. And don't worry about constitutional rights. You have to be proactive and you have to be aggressive.
We investigated this 6-day conference hosted by a private company called Street Cop Training. Instructors taught unconstitutional policing practices, teaching officers to stop motorists without a lawful basis and to illegally prolong traffic stops.
Have a day where you go out and go, people pull over 20 people in a row for the sole purpose of asking them a series of questions. And make up your own questions. Something as simple as, hey, how you doing? Where you come from? You know, hey, where you going? Be real friendly about all stuff and just see how people answer questions. You will learn general baseline.
In Indiana, speed limit for trucks is 65, cars is 70. There's no fucking way that any car should ever be behind a semi if they have the ability to pass it. So when you do that, if you're coming through Indiana, I'm gonna fucking stop your ass. Like, he has the whole left lane to pass his fucking semi, but he's gonna sit right behind it. It makes zero sense. It's not logical.
They denigrated women and racial and ethnic minorities.
I don't want to hear those exit. I don't want to fucking die at like 91 with hookers and cocaine around me, you know? Why wouldn't that be your goal and objective? Like, I'm on vacation in Colombia, money, and these girls like are not as wealthy and they need to do things to make money.
You're trying to get a little boo nanny, boom tang, whatever the hell you call it, okay? There's an approach. You don't walk up and say, hi, what's your name? How old are you? Sounds like casting couch, doesn't it?
They promoted a warrior mentality and glorified violence.
There's nothing else I'm good at. I love violence, I love fighting, I love shooting, and I fucking love freedom. It wasn't that long ago that we were drinking out of the skulls of our enemies. Like, you know, like, I'm gonna fucking murder this guy, then I'm gonna take his head, then I'm gonna cut his head in half, and then I'm gonna boil his skull, and then I'm gonna drink out of that skull.
They belittled internal affairs.
We get kicked in the dick one too many times, when we get in trouble by IA, when we lose our motivation and inspiration. I harped a lot on all the negativity. How many times I got kicked in the dick because they didn't want me to go out there and hit a trap, and they didn't want to hit money, they didn't want to hit me kilos. I hit 15 kilos, I hit 300,000. I'm still getting yelled at. I'm still getting yelled at.
Somebody with some kind of fucking thing on their shoulders or neck collar or fucking whatever. So, hey, we watched your body cam videos. We don't think you got a voluntary consent. Here's 7 pieces of case law, fuckhead. Stop trying to back the 19-year-old dispatcher. Get a fucking life.
They dehumanized civilians.
You don't like treating turds, right? You're like, fuck them. The ambulance can take care of them, right? And I had a problem treating, gangbangers and the people that were the pieces of shit of society, right? I had a great mentor that told me, well, Sean, guess what? That's a live tissue lab, bro. Anytime you come to one of these shitbags, absolutely do the best you can. Absolutely, because what if he gets hurt, right? Or she gets hurt, or he gets hurt, then I can perform that flawlessly because now I've had some reps in. Everybody get that? Everybody with me on that?
They made jokes about their genitalia and harassed members of the audience.
All right, so normally in my class, we open up that beer tap and I just start spraying people with information. But today, you guys are just gonna get the tip.
I would be remiss if I didn't remind you or let you know that I have a 3-inch dick.
I'm not the one with a 1-inch dick.
I watched this car come off the highway, and I fucked the shit out of the female driver.
She doesn't want to fuck me back, though.
That's not an 18-year-old kid dressed like Jesus coming eastbound out of Trenton. It's a 75-year-old black man, a change in drive behavior, came into a gas station, and I'm like, what the fuck? And you know what? Shame on me, because I look in there and I'm like, oh, had a couple small rubber bands. And all I'm doing is asking, hey, what's up with that?
Something like that can just flip the attitude of a police officer from somebody interacting well with their community to somebody escalating situations unnecessarily, such as happened here. That's why I wasn't surprised when I saw this social media post from Officer Ripion. He had attended a street cop training seminar in 2023, and there he is with the founder and CEO of Street Cop Training. And why not take your police officers from Florida and send them to learn from this guy in New Jersey?
Shut the fuck up, right? About to get pepper sprayed and fucking tased. Windows broken out, motherfucker.
CBS News discovered the founder of Street Cop, Dennis Bonino, was a street cop himself in Woodbridge Township, New Jersey. Public records revealed Bonino was disciplined by the department 3 times in 5 years. In 2015, 3 women accused him of using excessive force and racial bias. Woodbridge Township paid $50,000 taxpayer dollars to settle before it went to trial. Bonino never admitted wrongdoing. Woodbridge police say he retired from the department at age 33, weeks after that lawsuit was filed. Then he went on to create Street Cop.
He retired, which means that if he retires or leaves or resigns, he can go somewhere else, which he did. If he gets fired, he loses accreditation, and he cannot. That's why he retired.
And while they're there, they can also be taught by this guy.
In the South, it's the Wild Wild West, South, wherever. You don't believe me? Run from Georgia State Patrol. Run from me. Somewhere along the chase becomes neither confirm or deny. There's some videos out there with me doing just that.
After listening to his story about unconstitutionally shooting at somebody, I was able to go actually find that incident. Obviously, what is the first thing that I went and did when I heard him say that? I searched for the video. Check this out from just a few months ago.
The first on the news at 6 o'clock, a Reserve West Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's deputy who shot into the back of a fleeing car is facing charges tonight.
Sean Pardazzi was fired in February, months after the initial incident took place. He's now facing charges of illegal discharge of a firearm and obstruction of justice.
Vehicle in park.
It was complete insanity for a police department in Florida to send any police officers to go learn from this sort of incompetence and intentional misconduct. Just last weekend, I was speaking with a group of law students, prestigious law students from across the country, who were there at the headquarters of the Institute for Justice in Arlington, Virginia, looking into potentially becoming civil rights lawyers, working at a nonprofit law firm such as the IJ. And part of what I was telling them was how important now things like YouTube has become in civil rights and constitutional advocacy. We can file all the lawsuits we want, win the criminal cases that you want, but it's almost impossible to affect real accountability, real change. The one thing that government is afraid of, especially a government that has been bending the rules, is negative publicity, is the public finding out what they've been doing, a light being shined on their bad conduct. That is their kryptonite. And I was telling them, I think my record for one of my videos resulting in a police officer being fired was like 2 days. While I don't think this one beat that, I think we set a new record for the charges being dismissed. And I don't take credit for that at all. What I'm saying is that is you. That is the public reacting to my video and other videos that were out there, all working towards the same goal. Now, in another case, people would disagree, but enough people agreed on that one that the government listened. But there's more work to be done, and I've been in touch with Paul's family, and they're very thankful for all of the help that Paul has received so far, but there's more to be done. I encouraged them to set up a GoFundMe to help in this process, and they did do that. So I'm going to share that GoFundMe link. It will be below. And I'll also point out that in the explanation of what happened and what they want to use the funds for, they explain that Paul was, wrongfully incarcerated for 2.5 days. And that even though the charges have now been dropped, this did result in him no longer being able to work at his job. leaving him with no income to cover rent or transportation. And as a result, he's struggling to find a new place to live. Any donations that you can give will go directly towards helping Paul recover and move forward. Things like legal fees and expenses tied to the legal process, housing support to help him purchase a reliable car to be able to go to and from some hopefully new place of work he finds. So I hope you will join me in donating to hopefully get Paul back on his feet. And also, we're not done, because where is Officer Ripion going to go now? Is he going to pop up somewhere else? Is he going to lose his certification? We're going to stay on top of that, and I need your continued help. So please make sure that you're subscribed. Remember, our rights don't end where your fear begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.
Okay, guys. So, like he said, I'll have the information down below. And, it's scary that we can actually do something about this. All it takes is you folks getting involved, which is what I've been screaming about for the last 6 months. And you guys got to be tired of hearing me bitch and scream. But anyway, thank you very much for those who got hold of the police department and told them your concerns. We can change the way things are done, guys. We just have to stick together to do it. And it's about time we start doing that. So remember, always phone the police because they're not your friends. Be safe. Do something good for someone else. You never know how you can change the world. Talk to you later, guys. Be good.